All right, Saggies, welcome in. This is your June 2023 reading. I almost said 2024. I wonder what that's about. We'll see. Let's see. All right, this is for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, Sagittarius. If it doesn't resonate for your sun sign, Sag, look at your Moon, Rising, or Venus sign. I have been writing down keywords for each of my Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus and making kind of like a new reading out of that for myself as I'm doing these. Kind of interesting. I recommend it. So anyway, so let's see where we go. Next week, we are going to be doing a Heal Your Soul Contracts relationship class. This is based on North Node. You know, I've been talking about North Node for years. And I even do readings about North Node. I'm going to put a little card to the playlist about the North Node, and it is your karmic path in this life. So it is super relevant, not just to your work or your life mission, but also your relationships. So I'm going to talk about that next week. Okay, there's a link in description box if you want to join up for that class. Distant Thunder, wise leader, you are a beacon for others and protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. So there is some stuff going on. Okay, I do feel like because you are stepping into your power, it's like to those much is asked or much is given, much is asked, something like that. You know, if you've been very fortunate or if you have been given a platform or given an opportunity, earned too, but to those much is given, much is expected. And I just feel like that's a apropos thing right now. Like you might have to be the bigger person. You might have to be the person that is needed in the leadership role right now. You might have to be someone who just really takes your emotions out of things and understand what's best for the group or the collective or something like that. Not, you know, this is challenging for those of us who are empaths because we tend to, it's easy for us to throw ourselves under the bus, but that's not what's being asked of you. You're going to have to learn to balance that. So it's not just like, oh, okay, other people need this, so I'm just going to completely trash myself. No, this is the skill that's being asked of you to learn. How to balance your own needs with the needs of others. How to do that. All right. So that's something that we'll definitely talk about in that relationship class. I feel that. All right. 7 of Cups underneath, the Hanged Man, the Knight of Wands, the 8 of Wands, the 6 of Pentacles. My goodness. And yes, the Emperor. So you're showing up here. Lately, I have been getting a lot of messages from underneath the deck, which in my tarot classes and all that stuff, we talk about this, that it's not just what comes right off the top or jumpers or anything like that, but underneath the deck can be a really interesting insight into what's going on underneath the situation or what's going on subconsciously for people. So there is this sense of confusion and needing to look at things from a different perspective, right? What I said about being the bigger person. The 8 of Wands here and the 6 of Pentacles. I feel like you do have a lot to offer. And I feel like you are in some way stepping into an even more powerful leadership role. Now, if you don't feel that, if you're not feeling that right now, this is what's on its way. As we have the North Node moving into Aries this summer, you may be asked to step up. You may be asked to do something that is kind of like above your pay grade or outside of your scope of accomplishment currently. And I feel like, you know, Saggy here with the Knight of Wands, I feel like you're always up for it. I would give yourself, take a beat before you just jump in and say yes. Okay? I think that's something that, you know, we Sagittarians may find challenging, that when, you know, something is really exciting, we're going to just jump right in. Okay, that was Colleen. So it does look a little bit to me like the 6 of Pentacles. I feel like now, in some ways, like the tables have turned or there's some kind of shift where you're now the one kind of dispensing advice to someone who was asked, you went to advice before, or you know what I'm saying? Like the Queen of Pentacles and the Emperor, there's some kind of like beautiful symmetry to everything. The Hierophant, oh, that's more symmetry. Okay. Eight of Pentacles and the Lovers, Three of Wands, the Justice card. Yeah, there's something about turning the tables here. It's almost like we're going from traditional spirituality to something more along the lines of the Hermit, right? We're making a choice. This is about being balanced. Some of you are, okay, hold on. Just let me, okay, don't get ahead of yourself. Nine of Swords, Five of Swords, right? Death. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So this is definitely a cycle. This feels like a cycle. And it can be that at some point you were this Knight of Wands and you were dealing with someone who was in power or someone who was like running a company, and you know, you were this upstart, you know, young buck or something like that. And at some point, because of how you're wanting or your ideas or your thinking, right? Sagittarius is very much, it's not just the energy of optimism, okay? Sagittarian energy is also ninth house energy. And ninth house energy is about higher learning, right? So universities, colleges, universities, master's degrees, PhDs, all of that, but also like the world, also like, you know, international travel and adventure and doing things like outside the box, really getting excited about new ideas and things like that. I feel like at one point that was like kind of crushed. You might have been somebody who had a lot of good ideas, but no money or something like that. And so it was crushed. And it's possible here that because of your good ideas, something has been created. Okay. Something has been created, even a fairly traditional experience. So if we're talking about relationships here, what we're really talking about is you have this idea, right? This kind of idealistic, super optimistic idea about what relationships are. And then you kind of learn the hard way for, I don't know, several years that, you know, how you want things to go is not how the world wants them to go or how it is, right? How it is. You got to understand how things are, right? But so many things are changing in the world right now. And there is definitely something on the horizon that is big change. When we have, you know, we've been talking for a long time about the age of Aquarius. We've been talking for a long time about Pluto and Capricorn and the United States having a solar return. Oh, if we're at tour, right? We're talking about a Pluto return. And a Pluto return is about, Pluto comes back, takes 247 years to go all the way around the Zodiac. So none of us were alive when this country was born. That's when Pluto was in the same position that it is now. It's going to be in this like neck of the woods until I think it's 2025 is when the Pluto return kind of finishes up. It's been in that place since last year, since 2022. And now it's like, okay, and now we're in a Pluto retrograde. So Pluto's retrograding it's ingressed into Aquarius back in March. It went in retrograde and it's so damn slow that it's just coming out of Aquarius now and back into Capricorn. So it feels like someone's back in a pickup truck over the same thing over and over again, like running over the same thing. Sadly, my Venus is what it's running over. I'm like, oh no. So this... The sensation of this experience is that Aquarius is about innovation and new stuff. And so that could feel really good to you, that Pluto has gone into that sign of Aquarius. So since March, how's it been? Have you had a lot of upheaval? Have you had a lot of change? Because that's what transformational Pluto does, and changing in terms of a new way of doing things. So things got to change. It can't stay the same and do it a new way. Things got to change in order for a new way to happen. So there can be this feeling of optimism on the part of Sagittarius, especially. They're like, hey, I'm going to get to do things my way, because I think the kind of tables have turned here a little bit. And anybody who helped you on the way up, right, is gonna get most favored nation status when you're up, okay? Because I think that that's what's happening here, and I feel like there is a possibility. Nine of Swords and the Five of Swords. I'm going to clarify this in a second, but that there are people who are not super happy to see you successful, or not super happy to see you happy. It's like if you've ever had friends that really enjoy, misery loves company kind of experiences, and sunny Sagittarius, it's kind of a little bit like we're always looking on the brighter side of things and everything like that. But Saggies are not one to stick around or stay down too long. And that can irritate people who really like misery, who like to be in a dark place and feel like it's safer for them or something like. So there is that. And so you might see the true colors of people when you find the love of your life. And all of a sudden there's a couple of your girlfriends or a couple of your friends who are like, I don't really like that person, or you're different and I don't like it, or something like that. I'm just feeling that there's a sense of like, oh, I didn't know who that was you in my life. I didn't realize. I was thinking that you were my friend. I was thinking that you were my champion. You were my confidant. And as it turns out, you've been cheering against me this whole time. Wow. So that feels really bad. And I feel like some relationship, when you get successful, or you are being successful right now, or you're going to be very successful very soon, people show their true colors. And I think you're going to be surprised. I do. I think you're going to be surprised. Talk to me about this Five of Swords. I can see that's you being like, oh my God, I can't believe it. All right, Five of Swords, Seven of Wands, Ace of Wands, Magician, and the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, very successful. You're manifesting something. I feel like your job is to really block these people off. So, and it could be pretty hard. This might be somebody who you've considered to be a bestie, or somebody who isn't kind of benefiting necessarily, other than you being happy. Like, wow, you don't want me to be happy? That's insane. I do think that this person or these people may end up trying to hang on. Okay, trying to hang on. In this, I see a lot here. I see Gemini, I see Scorpio, I see Virgo, I see Libra, more Gemini, Taurus, Aries. Okay, and they could end up trying to hang on. It's sort of like, okay, well, it's not going to get me anywhere to be negative about your success or happiness. So I'm going to be like a frenemy, or maybe they have been a frenemy. But I think now that you see it, like your BS meter is really attuned, really sharp now. Because in the past, you may have been somebody who just assumed, like you thought everybody was like you. Like you wanted people to be happy and successful. And if they got happy and successful, you were like, awesome, because that just proves it's possible. And everybody could have it, right? That's the Sagittarian thing. That just proves it's possible. So yay, good for you, good on you. And I think you're seeing things now from a different perspective, like, oh, hold on. And by integrating this information, now you're becoming like a wise sage. Like, this could have been happening over the course of a couple of years, because there's a lot of pentacles here. It's quite slow moving energy. You're the one who's moving fast and doing things. But if the tables have turned, people are showing their true colors. And now it's like, well, I got to just cordon that person off. I cannot interact with this energy anymore. End. Fin. Okay? I cannot do that. If you're going in a direction, if you are in an experience where your energy is really, really good, then all this person is going to do is try to drag you down. No. So in a loving way, in a hope everything is good kind of way. It's a distancing thing. I don't feel like, I mean, death is pretty strong, but let's see where we go. Okay. If you want to continue on, if this is your reading, I'm going to see where it goes. I'll give you the next 30 days and what's your best action here. Okay. How do you handle this? All right. Link in description box below, Saggies. I'll see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.